everyone, it's Laura Myers for CMS-Connected. 2017 has become a great time to be in governance, not only given the impending GDPR regulations, of course, but also the estimated 256 digital touchpoints global brands have on average across their organization, as noted by Forrester. This complexity necessitates digital marketing teams to understand what the addition of a DQM platform could offer when it comes to the compliance and consistency of the experiences they wish to provide. To help with this, Crownpeak, the cloud-based digital experience management platform provider, has released an ebook on DQM and why it can be an absolute game changer for marketers. To go in-depth on this topic once again, I'm speaking with Adrian Newby, Chief Technology Officer at Crownpeak. Hello, Adrian. How are you doing today?
Hi, Laura. Doing great. Hope all is well where you are. Nice to see you again.
They are. Thank you so much. Great to chat with you again. So let's jump right in by having you talk about if you feel there's a gap between the rapid rise in content demands and a way to efficiently manage them.
Well, certainly, I think the answer to that question is definitely yes. And I think it's driven by the huge explosion in all forms of digital content. So, for example, the Content Management Institute just published a study recently that suggests that somewhere upwards of 30% of the average marketer's budget is now being devoted to content-driven marketing, which is huge compared with a few years ago. I think another driving factor is the shift from traditional channels into digital media, away from call centers, away from in-store and in-branch experiences towards online retail facilities and so on and so forth. And that's driven by the desire not only to monetize the new digital channels, but also drive efficiencies because they're certainly more cost effective to operate than their traditional counterparts. And I think another factor that's really driving this explosion of digital content is evolving. For example, everyone's super stoked about the latest $1,000 iPhone, the iPhone 10. And the augmented reality and the facial recognition technology that it comes with, and it's not unique. There are lots and lots of examples of new technologies that are becoming available to digital marketers. And the one thing they all have in common is they all need content. So I think keeping your arms wrapped around this exponentially increasing challenge is really, really hard. And I think that's why it's becoming increasingly difficult to keep control over the quality while the volume is exploding.
Now, given the huge demand for content, WCM systems are getting a run for their money in managing all that content, not to put too fine a point on it. Why do you think a WCM alone is not the best laid plan for digital quality management?
Well, managing quality is important, but I think you have to remember why content management platforms came to be in the first place. The fundamental purpose of a content management platform, whether or not we still call them content management platforms or we use more modern terms like digital experience platform, the fundamental goal I think is still the same, which is to help non-technical users build and deliver really exciting, compelling digital experiences. And they're really, really good at that. We're very proud of our platform, and there are certainly other great ones out there in the industry. But you also have to recognize that a content management platform isn't a Swiss Army knife. And there are things that it's really good at, but also things that it just wasn't designed to do. So, for example, a content management platform really won't ever be able to understand what you want out of your brand, how you want your brand to be presented, what kind of used, the tone of voice for the content. So it's very, very difficult to think about how you would systematically manage that inside a content management platform, because that's just not what they're designed to do. I think another area is when you think about this increasing body of regulation and law that's controlling how digital content and digital marketing is carried out, whether it's compliance rules for things like accessibility or data protection with the GDPR. It's really hard to think about using a content management platform to program all of the detail that you would need to assess compliance with all of those different sets of rules and regulations, because that's just not what a content management platform is designed to do. And then when you think about the larger organization, I think most of the companies that I work with on a daily basis, they would consider it to be a blessing to only have to work with one content management platform, but either through acquisition or through divisional decentralization. They tend to have 2, 3, or even more content management platforms in production. And thinking about building a quality program in each of those individually is not only expensive, but it's really difficult to see how you could keep all of those implementations consistent and up to date with each other. So I think there are some good arguments for why content management platforms can be really helpful to a digital marketer, but I think using them as the vehicle to manage and oversee quality is probably not one of them.
Well, and marketers need to be aware of that. Content reaching their audience is only half the battle when it comes to engagement. Ensuring the brand feel and tone inconsistent is that other key. What else would you say marketers risk if they don't have an effective digital quality management platform in place?
Well, for people not thinking about quality, if it was any other industry, building airplanes, for example, no one would tell you that quality wasn't important. And if you think about in an industry like the airline business, quality has both top line and bottom line implications. And it's the same with digital marketing. From the point of view of top line, what you're really looking for out of a quality management program is really, really good search engine optimization, because your sites are well constructed, so they're favored in, say, the Google rankings for mobile friendliness. And I think the more consistent your brand, the more consistent your tone of voice. There are lots and lots of studies that can connect strong brand identity with superior levels of engagement and conversion. So there are lots of top-line implications for good quality programs. And then further down the P&L, if you think about the risks associated with fines for failing to comply with regulations like Section 508, GDPR that we mentioned before. You guys in Canada have PIPEDA, which is yet another international standard for data protection and privacy. All of those regulations are supported by pretty severe penalties for companies that aren't able to demonstrate that they can follow them effectively. And even if you decide to get out in front of that, the remediation costs that you might incur by trying to go it alone and not take advantage of a purpose-built tool or service to help you with that are pretty high. So I think there are lots and lots of arguments for making sure that quality management is a significant part of any digital marketer's program.
Saying purpose-built platform is such a great comment to make, and for me, it really brings to mind the advice I've heard time and time again. Know when to outsource what you're not good at. And in this case, for digital marketers, when thinking of all the other tasks they have, and especially when mistakes can be as costly as they will be with the GDPR, handing digital quality management to a platform designed for exactly that would be very wise. On that note, that's all the questions I have for you, Adrian. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Laura. Great to talk to you. Look forward to speaking with you again. Bye-bye.
Always a pleasure. That was Adrian Newby, CTO at Crownpeak, discussing why integrating a DQM platform can save digital marketing teams from cost and complexity when it comes to managing the ever-expanding amount of content and touch points spanning their digital business. For more on governance in the upcoming GDPR, make sure you peruse all of our recent content on these hot topics.